Let's start this with a prayer. Dear Father, I thank you for this day and this opportunity to be used as a vessel to let your people know that you are available, able, and ready in the name of Jesus of Nazareth. Let's cut this bread. Deuteronomy 6:5, love God, your God, with your whole heart. Love him with all that's in you. Love him with all you've got. Deuteronomy 7:5-7. Here's what you are to do. Tear apart their altars stone by stone, smash their pillars, chop down their sex and religion, Asherah groves, set fire to their carved God images. Do this because you are a people set apart as holy to God, your God. God, your God, chose you out of all the people on the earth for himself as a cherished personal treasure. So, God deserves all of my love. He deserves it. He is worthy of it. He is worthy of everything that I have in me. So when he tells me to do something, I might not like it, but I gotta do it. I might not see the reason, like, God, you know me and my temper. Why you want to send me? Let me tell you the story. So homie had invited me to a Freemason luncheon, and I wanted to cancel, right? And God was like, no, go. I want you to see what it's like for yourself. Not on no YouTube video, not on no documentary from the History Channel about, you know, the Freemasons and their contribution to society or whatever it is, right? So I'm in the parking lot peeping out people because I feel like it's a stakeout, right? You know, you have to, listen, you got some enemies. You need to go and check them out to see what's going to happen before it happens. So we get there, we walk in, it's in like a building with a whole bunch of, one conference room and a whole bunch of locked doors. So we sit down, all of the colonizing skinheads are on one side of the room, not moving or budging, and we're on the other side of the room. The Master Mason's wife came over and started talking to us. She introduced herself. Now for a second, I felt bad for her, because she started telling me about her dilemma with her husband being in the hospital and she has to drive back and forth to Madison every day. But then I remembered, you're an enemy of the Lord. Whatever you got coming to you is what you got coming to you. Because I think like in 8, where is it? Let me find it real quick. I gotta find it. But in the message, it says that God pays back those who hate him, pays them the wages of death. He is not slow to pay them off. Those who hate him, he pays right on time. So whatever you got coming, you got coming. I feel no type of way. And, you know, she tells a story, whatever. Then this dude, we're gonna call him Uncle Fester, comes and sits right in front of us. He's trying to stare us down. I can't get past the fact that he has a whole skinhead and he has his teeth and he's talking and teeth and like, I wanted to ask him if he had a dental plan, but you know, I was here for stakeout purposes only. So he starts kind of like shaking and fidgeting when he's talking to us. And me, you know, stone face, cold killer, like, because I know he's perturbed by the fact that he has to have a conversation, or there's people with melanin sitting in a room at a table where he's about to partake in this wonderful luncheon that they've just provided. And let me tell you, the luncheon was bologna, bread, chips, mayo, mustard, and a couple of cookies. Y'all could keep that because my God gives hot meals. Whatever. So eventually, we've been there for too long, right? And it's probably been 15 minutes. So the other colonizers come and they pull us to give us a tour. And it was Smeagol and this dude who looked like a character from this movie called Nothing But Trouble. Like, Schnage out to here, face all like, whatever. Their hearts, pure black. I don't care what you say. So they eventually take us into the room. Now, I've seen this room plenty of times on videos, on TV, you know, in movies, but to be in this room, and I'm looking around the room, and I'm seeing the pillars, and I'm seeing the altar, and I'm seeing the checkerboard floor, and I'm seeing all the chairs, and I'm like, oh my gosh, these niggas play a game. It's like Game of Thrones. Really? And God goes, you know, he's talking to me. He's like, do you see how foolish this is? And, you know, Smeagol starts explaining that it's a 7-year process. Like, 1 year you're in this chair, and then you move to this chair the next year, and then you move to this chair the next year, and blah, 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 blah. You gotta wait 7 years to get to the big chair? How about 7 seconds and you just sit in it? Whatever. So, you know, they're talking about how they believe in this. You have to believe in a supreme being, in immortality of the soul, and abide by the law of the land. Nowhere is, and it's, we take everybody. We take everybody. It doesn't matter who you worship, as long as you worship a supreme being. Listen, I done seen too many gang cultures where they're like, Joe, be quiet. It's my cat. I'd seen too many gang cultures, and they have a code that they live by. Joe, shh. They have a code that they live by, certain things that they adhere to, and they don't let other gangs into their cyber, in their circle, in their demos. They don't give their manifesto to other people. So I can't understand like how we just include everybody in this. Like, if we're rolling together, we need to be on the same level, same table. We need to be eating off the same plate, because we should all believe in the same thing. And I just thought it was crazy because, you know, this is what we do as people. We set up little things, and, you know, we worship them. Now, I'm not going to go nuts and start breaking down their idols, because they're colonizers. They'll call the cops on me. And I don't have a record, so, you know, if I'm going to have a record, it definitely needs to be like, Jesus sent me to do this, so this is why I've done this. And just ruining their toys, like their game pieces, I'd rather ruin them like this. It's funner. Funner is not a word, but I just made it one. So they're done talking about, you know, that and the requirements. Hold on. And their requirements for membership. And I can't take no more. I gotta go. So I go to the car, and I'm waiting. And, you know, I'm like, thanks, God. You sent me through. And God was like, I just wanted to see if you were gonna go. I wanted to see if you were gonna be obedient to me. Like, I want you to see things first for yourself. And because you love me, and you love me with your whole heart, when I'm telling you to go and do something, this is what I want to see. So in my mind, whenever we talk about them again, you guys are a whole bunch of overgrown men playing wizards and warlocks or Dungeons and Dragons and thinking that something is going to come through and it's really going to work when it's really not. Have it. Because God going to burn y'all up at the end of time anyway. God said, do this because you are a people set apart as holy to God. Your God. God, your God. We all ain't got the same God. And that's a thing. So I don't want to be categorized with people who are like, yeah, I got a relationship with Jesus. And, you know, I love God. We ain't all the same. So from this day forward, it's probably going to be a little bit more intense when I start talking about, you know, the lines that are drawn. And, you know, if you're not on the side with the way, the truth, the life, your feelings about to get hurt. God has done so much for me that I have no other choice but to be loyal to him, to serve him, to make sure that my life is pleasing and acceptable in his sight. Going out and seeing this, he said they call themselves Freemasons. I'm trying to free my son, and people don't get it. So whatever son is thinking about joining an adult clubhouse, please reevaluate that. If you're trying to get something through these guys here, and then you got to apply to get in, this is a job, and you got to go through a background check, and ain't no benefits, because bro was in the hospital, and his whole wife and them their people couldn't do nothing. They should have put their robes on, did a whole boo 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 boo, make it come through, abracadabra stuff. It's foolish. And to the Bible thumpers who don't really take God at his word, we're set apart as his holy special people. So his special people, he's telling you to go do that recon. Go do that recon on whatever it is in your life. I just had to do it in the physical form. So it was like, okay, this is what I'm up against. People are at a stage in the game where they believe anything. Here goes my alcohol for my nails. I could make this an idol if I wanted to. Sprinkle a little alcohol and stuff. Purify it. Clean it. Listen, it says for professional use only. It's just an empty container. It is the Walmart alcohol. God is concerned about what you put in you, how you make it look, and what you use it for. So there's going to be a consequence. There will be consequences for anybody that keeps trying to play with God or trying to switch it up and make it seem like it's something that it's not, because you're dealing with the Most High, and he's a jealous God. Why should he share his praise and glory with anybody else when they've done nothing? And now you want to insult him and say, you can have other gods stand beside me. That's a red flag off bat. Just, I know. I get excited about this. God said, you got to stone by stone destroy their delusional foundation for their basis. What is it? There's a lot of Egyptian stuff in there. Like, and anyone that tells you that God is going to use idols to get his message clear, God don't need to use nothing. He's God. He needs to use you. You need to be in a position to be a vessel to help other people see the light. Now, oh my gosh, this is what we believe, and you can have anybody. It's so suspect. Ain't nobody got no moral code. I forgot. It's 2022. You can do whatever you want, be whatever you want, and identify as whatever you want. I'm identifying the fakes. I'm identifying the frauds. And listen, it's not in people that don't have it together, but people that think that they have it together. And before God, you people have no wisdom, no understanding, no knowledge, no integrity, no discernment about a situation. And any intelligence that you have gathered outside of God, it's only a detriment to you. It ain't going to help you in the end. So God, when we're talking about this yesterday, because I'm like, whoa, God, that's pretty heavy. He was like, you see what they're doing? No one's looking for me. No one's seeking me. And they've gotten tired of waiting, even though they've never applied themselves. And they've constructed their own gods. And they've used things from different gods to incorporate it into me, because they're still trying to fill this void, and they can't, because it's me. He said, a chosen people. He said, I force the other nations out of the land. When the Egyptians had to leave, well, not the Egyptians, but when the Israelites left the wilderness, they had to cross the Jordan River into the land that they could possess, and that's when they had to fight. You got to fight for everything that you want, everything that's yours. You got to wipe out all the enemies, because look, let me tell you right now, this right here, God already know. Talk about it. Talk about the mamas that bred these little scumbags. Talk about how worthless this is and how it's detestable in God's sight. And if you don't like it, you could turn the video off or, pull up. But I know you ain't doing that. Oh, we hate her so much. She's talking about us. Shoulder shrug. Listen, God wants you to be free. Free from just the things that don't make any sense. And if you're at an age where you should know better, do better, because this does not make any sense. Playing wizards and warlocks, Dungeons and Dragons, thinking that's somebody. You know the deal. Holla at God.